Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praises indeed due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, the cherisher, the nourisher of all worlds. We send complete salutations upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best of all creations and the most noble of all prophets. May Allah bless him, his household, his companions. May Allah bless every one of us and grant us every form of goodness. Respected scholars and dear brothers, on this auspicious and conducive moment, I would like to shed some light on one of the most overdue issues of the time, that is Islam and insurance. In a society which is poverty-stricken and the smoke of insurance is about to reach every nook and corner of the world, including our beloved country India, it seems necessary to briefly describe the position of Islamic insurance vis-a-vis conventional insurance. It is an axiomatic fact that as the Industrial Revolution progressed, culminating in the invention of various kinds of machineries, burgeoningly, the risk factor also plunged in a burgeoning manner. To put it simply, whatever work a human being does with his own hands, the momentum and speed remains under his complete control. And whatever work he carries out with the help of machines, the speed becomes intractable. For instance, if a man is running and all of a sudden he notices a ditch or a trench ahead, he can instantaneously cut down his momentum and control himself, howsoever fast he was running. On the contrary, a man riding a motorbike faces the same situation. It is hardly possible for him to control and circumvent the trench. Well, this was just for an instance. However, this distinction between man and machine, we cannot escape from it in any sphere of life. So as the risk factor is increasing burgeoningly, it is our responsibility to alleviate it, if not downright eliminate it. Respected scholars, the synopsis is that everyone in this world is exposed to the possibility of risk and disasters, such as death, losses and damages through fire, accidents, businesses, etc. Despite this, we Muslims believe in qada and qadr, that is fate and destiny from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And allow me to say that every Muslim should accept any catastrophe that befalls as a will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, Islam encourages and admires that one should always find ways and means to keep away from such troubles and adversities whenever they occur. One should always try to minimize his financial losses. So one possible way out is to buy an insurance cover. Now, respected scholars, here we have to understand that ipso facto insurance is not forbidden. Insurance per se, insurance in and of itself is not haram. The malignancy comes from outside. Insurance becomes malign because of qimar, that is gambling, riba, that is interest, and gharar, that is excessive uncertainty. Because of these three malignant factors, insurance becomes malign and evil. The concept of insurance is that it is a mutual cooperation between two parties to protect one of them from unexpected future financial losses. Hence, in the conventional setup, an insurance contract minimizes the risk of loss due to accidents or ill-fated situations. So in conventional setup, which is coupled with the three malignant factors aforementioned, this agreement may be unproblematic, but its acceptance to Islamic law and Sharia, and from Islam's vantage point, it is straightforward haram. Because the policy holder is assured of promised fixed returns at the end of the insurance contract, if premium installment payments are made. Thus, the outcome contravenes with the spirit of Islam, which prohibits a predetermined return, that is riba. Respected scholars, now let's take a cursory glance on the Islamic concept of insurance, that is takaful. Takaful is an Islamic alternative to conventional insurance. It is based on the idea of social solidarity, mutual cooperation and joint indemnification of losses. It is basically an agreement among a group of people who agree to jointly indemnify any loss or damage that may inflict upon any one of them out of the fund they donate collectively. So takaful system, the main purpose of takaful system is to protect the policy holder through bad times and to bring equity to all parties involved. Profit sharing is not the main goal in takaful. However, sharing any profit generated incidentally is acceptable. So now if we closely examine the primary sources of guidance, that is Quran and Sunnah, we can easily deduce and infer that the members of the first Islamic community 14 centuries ago practiced successful schemes of cooperative risk sharing. Even in the period of Madinatul Munawwara, there were some instances in which an insurance mechanism was employed. In the first constitution, there were some coded references to social insurance relying upon the practice of diyat and aqila. That is the blood money given to rescue an accused of accidental killing or culpable homicide. Furthermore, there was fidya, which is nothing but the ransom of prisoners of war. And there were some cooperative risk-sharing schemes to protect the needy, ill, poor and impecunious people of the society. And one should not lose sight of aqd mu'alat also. These are basically some points of origin of takaful in Islamic law and Sharia. Some people very ignorantly say that there is no origin of takaful in Islamic law. I will simply quote an Arabic principle in fuqaha's parlance. They say, "Admul ilm la yastalzim admul wujud." Allow me to translate it. Nescience cannot be the ground for absence. Nescience means ignorance. Ignorance of something doesn't mean that the thing per se doesn't exist. So one should not try to paint every wall with the same brush. Moving forward, we can say that Islamic law and Sharia encourages and admires such collaborative behavior. In fact, it suggests various methods in this regard. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, "Ta'awanu 'ala al-birri wat-taqwa." Respected scholars, therefore, many Islamic and religious scholars have issued numerous judicial opinions and fatwa confirming that takaful as a cooperative risk-sharing mechanism is acceptable for Muslims. Now let me recapitulate the differences between conventional setup and Islamic insurance for a lucid overview. Firstly, in conventional setup, the main motive is profit sharing and maximizing returns to shareholders. Whereas in takaful contract, the main motive is community's well-being and optimizing Sharia compliant operations for affordable risk protection. Secondly, in conventional setup, the profit and bonus are to be returned to policy holders post ante as determined post ante by managers and board of insurers. Whereas takaful contract specifies ex ante and beforehand how and when the profit and bonus shall be distributed. Thirdly, in conventional setup, the initial capital is supplied by shareholders to make profit. Therefore, after compensation and redressal, whatever the remainder is, it goes directly into the pockets of the shareholders, as simple as that. Whereas takaful contract, it is an ex gratia system in which money lenders lend their money for community's well-being. So the remainder is either reimbursed to the customers or saved in the gratuity account for future requirements. And finally, in conventional setup, there is no Sharia board to keep an eye on the transactions, which results in the indulgence and involvement of the three malignant factors aforementioned: qimar, riba and gharar. And as far as takaful system is concerned, Sharia board is the building block and part and parcel of it, which results in Shia compliance with Islamic laws. Well, I have a laundry list with me. However, given that the time is ephemeral and evanescent, I will conclude my talk here epitomizing 3 points. First, conventional insurance is haram because of 3 malignant factors: qimar, riba and gharar. Second, takaful system, which is a cooperative risk-sharing mechanism, it is halal. And third, we being Muslims, it is our responsibility, it is our duty to take some path-breaking decisions and pave the way for some companies that offer Sharia-compliant takaful products to their customers. Last but not the least, I would say, khudh ma safa wa da' ma kadir. Take the benign, leave the malign. Hada wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.